Good morning. Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sand Hills. It's time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with the Colonel. Retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond has returned to the studio.
Morning, Moore County. Hey, you know what day it is. That's right. Shuffle on down to the end of your driveway and pick up that trash. It's Pilot Distribution Day. It's already prepackaged. It's in a plastic bag. Just pick it up and drop it in the trash.
That's right. Because, as we all know, it's the pathetic, racist, failing pilot. Why is that in your driveway?
Hey, shouldn't they wrap that in brown paper so kids aren't exposed to it?
Well, they ought to have it, get back. I want to hear my music on. There we go. All right, that's better. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that maybe they should wrap that, or that probably should be wrapped in a brown paper wrapper so that kids aren't exposed to it while it's laying out there in the driveway. You know, kids stand out. It's not school time now, but during school, kids are standing there and they can actually see right through that plastic bag. And
heaven forbid they pick it up and try to read it.
Wow.
Anyway, don't forget this program is being seen around the world on a live video stream. That's available at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located. On your mobile device, fire up that streaming app such as TuneIn, iTunes, or Streamer. Any of those will work. Many hundreds of others will work. Just put WEEB in the search, and we should pop up at the top. Except for iHeartRadio. They don't stream stations they don't own. And, of course, it's always available to you from our website at talk973.com. Upper right-hand corner of every page has an icon that says Listen Live on the air. Tap it once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area is just a copy-paste day of the same crap we've had. And it just doesn't seem like there's any relief in sight. The only ray of hope I can give you, and it's changed some since last night, and that is on a week from today, we should have dew points down. Yesterday it said in the 50s.
A week. You got to wait a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
It said yesterday it said be in the 50s. Today it's saying the 60s. So as these little nuances change in the wind patterns and around the world, it affects us here.
Well, you got Barry coming up.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're going to get the after effects of that over here, too.
Well, we'll just have to.
What was that? There was Barry Obama, right? That mess coming up from the Gulf.
Yeah, coming from his direction of the world.
Yeah.
Partly cloudy today. Scattered thunderstorms. 98 for a high heat index 104. Please don't forget your pets, because I've seen a pet get heat stroke and she got it in a matter of minutes and never recuperated. So once the damage is done, it's hard to reverse it.
It is.
Tonight, partly cloudy, scattered thunderstorms, low of 75. Tomorrow, more of the same like today with a heat index of 104, 101 on Friday, Saturday 104, Sunday 102. You get the drift. It's in the low to mid 100. 100 to 105 is the range the heat index will be in. So plan accordingly, stay hydrated, and don't overdo it, because I've had heat stroke 2-3 times, and first time I never even knew what heat stroke was. It's kind of like the first time I went out on a deep sea fishing boat. I didn't have any idea about seasickness.
Yeah, that's special. That's,
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't know what it was, and I was playing golf, and I was 14, 15, and collapsed there in the middle of the 16th fairway. And I went, what the hell is going on? And I sat down for a few minutes, felt better, and got back up and finished the round, but I felt like I didn't feel like playing golf. It was just too hot. I was too hot. All right, but it looked good.
Well, it does. It gets you quick, and once you have it, once it's been done, it's hard to undo. You gotta watch yourself from then on.
Yeah, you get organ failure, and all of a sudden it cascades into serious problems that can't be undone, and ultimately death. So take it serious, because it'll sure kill you in a hurry. 7:34 came in this morning. Of course, Jeff says, "You're not on the air." And I went, "What?"
Something like that. Actually, I think it was another word, but I won't repeat it.
Then I have to go through in my head the logical chain of events where the problem could be. And it all boiled down to somebody didn't save the log last night, program log. So the computer said, "I don't know what to do except go down to stop." So that's what it did. And we had a problem. So anyway, everything's up, cool, running now, and all problems resolved. Okay. I hope that we didn't lose. Isn't that something? Let's sit there and shut that down. This is getting crazy. All these, well, there it is. That's what I want. All right, well, I'm going to bore you with what I'm doing.
It looks very interesting, though. Menu after menu after menu.
Yeah, okay. Looks like it saved our tweets. It just didn't save the whole thing. That makes sense. All right, it is 7:35 past the hour. Let's get on into, or I lose all my audience. Let's get into a little comedy for you. Believe it or not, it's Happy National Hot Dog Day, which is actually July 17th, but we're going to celebrate it today for you.
Look at those steaming weenies.
I'm a big fan of wieners.
I love hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Eating hot dogs and blasting this.
Happy National Hot Dog Day.
Did you go on Prime and look for deals yesterday?
No, was that the big day yesterday?
Yeah, the last 2 days. I went on there because I was out of AA batteries. And I usually get a big box of them. And they weren't on sale. Of course, the thing I'm looking for is not on sale.
Yeah.
This piece of crap over here that I would never buy has at a fantastic price.
Yeah, like a bundle of washcloths, 200 washcloths.
So, and then I know, I got a laptop, but it's refurbished. I hope it didn't messed up. I'll send it right back if it is. I have this rule: don't get anything refurbished because something's not working, and they just stick it in another box and send it on.
And then you did it anyway.
And then I did. Well, the price was so low. I said,
well, when you get it, there's a big footprint in the middle of the screen. You don't know why.
yeah, a cracked screen. But it comes with a 3-month warranty. So,
okay.
We'll see if it works or not. But the one I got next door is just so incredibly slow. It's old. And it's got to go. This one comes with an i7 dual processors.
Oh. Okay.
So, and I got it for $300.
Yeah, they're all coming down in price. Well, they were. I don't know. I haven't paid anything.
Ordinarily, just sell in the 700 range. So,
well, what's a good date? 5 years, and you need to start looking 6 years, or
I don't know. They pretty well. They might get faster processors, and the i7 is the fastest one out there without getting into the Xeon processors. But they are topping out at what they can do. I mean, Windows can only see so much RAM.
Right.
So there's little point to exceed that number. I think it's 12 gigs. I'm not a Windows expert, so I may be wrong, but I think that's what it is. So they can only, like Windows 7 can only see 6 gigs.
Oh, okay.
And I got 12 in this machine, so 6 of it goes unused.
You need to upgrade.
Well, I got me this was a Ferrari back in its day, but it's got dual i7 processors.
Now the wheels are off. Okay.
And it's very, very fast. And technology has not outdated this computer. Now, if I put Windows 10 on my computer, then I could see the rest of the RAM. But I don't want to run Windows 10 because I'm so used to 7 on this one.
Well, yes, I understand that. I mean, you're using it every day, and you have to use it every day, and you're live on the radio, so trying to learn on the fly a new system is not the way to go.
Yeah, no. But this new one comes with 10, so maybe I can get familiar with it.
Yeah.
And
when you're comfortable, you can transition.
And for $300, you know, everything goes bad, and I can't get my money back. It's only $300.
Well, you're not going to get it back on something refurbished. Usually they don't.
Yeah, they give you 3 months.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah, it'll last 3 months.
Yeah,
I guarantee you.
I'll get the geek to give it a smoking over, and if it shows he can test the the health of your hard drive,
right,
and how long before failure. And I don't have those tools. Today is David Hasselhoff's birthday. He turned 66. To celebrate, here he is singing part of B.J. Thomas's smash, Hooked on a Feeling. This is from Comedy Central roast of David Hasselhoff. We know he can't sing.
That's David Hasselhoff?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad for an old man. What's he, like 80 years old?
He's not a singer.
Well, I know he's not a singer, but hell, that's still not bad for an old dude.
But in Germany, they love him.
Oh, he's been the ticket over there for 30, 40 years now.
Now, you guys working outside know that summer isn't over yet. Mm-hmm. You feel it from the time you get to work till the time you leave.
Yeah, go pick up some pine cones.
Well, be sure to keep your tools cool no matter how hot it gets outside with the new Peen pouch.
As hot days continue, any man working outdoors can tell you, you don't want your ball peen hammer sticking to your nuts and bolts. That's why you need the new Peen pouch. Keeps your tool tucked away from your other parts, keeping it cool and dry all hot day long.
What about us guys with smaller tools?
Well, little fella, you need the new Peeny Pad. A soft puff of sheepskin fluff treated with baby powder so your Pokey Joe don't get any friction.
Are we still talking about tools?
As the heat continues, you and your hammer will have it made in the shade with the new Peen pouch. Slide your hammer in today. That feels good.
All right. Well, tips from the elderly about summertime here for us.
And now, summertime tips from the elderly.
My wife of 48 years, God rest her soul, used to tell me that summer was a great time to do all those home and yard projects that you put off all year long. Boy, I'm glad she's gone.
That was a summertime tip from the elderly.
That's not right. Wow.
All right. It's time for Mr. Big Voice. Now, I know I have a pretty big voice. Nothing like the dude Walker, who does We've Got You by the Ears. Nothing that good. But Mr. Big Voice isn't as good as dude, but he's going to recite I Don't Care by Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber.
And now, Mr. Big Voice recites lyrics to Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber's I Don't Care.
'Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby, yeah. All the bad things disappear, and you're making me feel like maybe I am somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh.
This has been Mr. Big Voice reciting lyrics to Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber's I Don't Care.
That's what I wanted, a translation to Justin Bieber music. But that is pretty good, you know, at least you understand what they're supposed to be singing now.
But he's your hero, isn't he?
No, he's not.
I don't know if this thing is out or...
Here.
There we go. I think it's out because it just doesn't have enough flame. I'll have to get Dorothy's. But I just bought it.
Well, doesn't have a 3-month warranty on it.
Trying to light a candle in here. That's what we're trying to do.
Send it back.
All right. Well, that's Mr. Big Voice. All right. Now the news this morning. An entire town in England recently threw a 10th birthday party for a cat named Wilbur that roams around to different businesses. And the dumbest part is Wilbur didn't show. The people showed up, but the cat never did.
I just think this is great, having a cat and celebrating its 10th birthday. It's amazing.
He is the most beautiful cat in the world. Cheers to Wilbur. Happy birthday, Wilbur!
It's just wonderful, isn't it? Who would ever have thought that a cat could just bring a community together so well? They've just embraced him, they love him, and that makes me really happy because he's a community cat.
Where's Wilbur? That's a good question. I've been asked that about 50 times tonight. It's probably at the other pub. Who knows? Wilbur is his own cat.
All right, here's probably the worst nightmare I think it could ever descend on a family. You have a little girl or boy in your house that just loves that song, Baby Shark.
Oh, jeez. No.
And after listening to them play it and sing it all day long, you get ready to go to sleep, and your bird starts singing Baby Shark.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Flush the bird.
It went on about twice as long as I would have let it go
on. Woman walked into 7-Eleven in San Antonio, and tried to pay with a toy credit card.
A toy credit?
Like when you get in a child's playset. It's not clear if she was on drugs, as the guy behind the counter said, "Are you on drugs?" I don't get it. Anyway, but she also tried to make a call on a toy phone. Now, a video the cashier shot is now going viral.
She don't want to swipe the card.
I swiped the card.
Let me see that.
Okay.
It said LM Smart. That's like a Toys for Tigers kind of card. She trying to swipe that to get some merchandise. I've been trying to tell her to swipe it. So you can see if you can get something up out of there.
You can't swipe it.
You look at that, it's a plastic card, man. And that's what I'm saying, but she thinks it's a real credit card. Man, she out of control, man. Man, you know you can't swipe that.
Well, man, what about this one?
It's the same, girl.
There's a debit card.
It's not a real card, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
I would like to see that.
I want my beer. Family from Texas were posing for a photo at a national park. Apparently, they were recreating a photo of the dad's grandmother who recently passed away. And a woman in the background photobombed them by flashing the camera, showing her tatas to the world.
Okay, yeah, all right.
The mom says some people think it's not such a big deal, but she does. Well, look at it this way, Mom. Nobody wants to see your recreated picture, but now they do. Here's the mom.
We're trying to recreate memories, and having some chick's boob isn't allowing us to do that. There it is, just fully exposed. Had no idea that was going on. I just feel completely disrespected. This person should be held accountable, whether it's knowing that she did is wrong and that kids were there watching. I think this is a big deal. Let's make this go viral so that she can be embarrassed. And I've had criticism on both sides. People are like, oh, who cares? It's just a boob, and I care.
Well, there's Photoshop.
Yeah, and
yeah, that's what you do. You put it out there, you Photoshop different tattoos and things on it and messages, and just keep putting it out there.
Well, this is the reason. This is the reason why you take multiple shots.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, yeah. Look around.
Yeah, the guy taking it from you. Yeah, click, 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 click. A guy in Florida named Ryan Bray recently offered to pay a panhandler $15 an hour to do yard work, but he refused, so Ryan went home, made his own sign shaming the panhandler for it, then followed him around to let other people know what happened. Ryan talked to a reporter about it. All the panhandlers would say is that asking for money isn't against the law. Here's Ryan.
He reached his arms inside my vehicle, resting them, and said, hey, do you got any money? I said, no, but I have one better for you. He said, absolutely not. Started getting belligerent, cursing, and then as I pulled off, he kicked my tire. I can't have my 13-year-old daughter and my wife driving with their windows up and being berated the entire time if they don't give money. I mirrored him with my sign. Wherever he walked, I walked. I've seen a lot of people give a lot of money, and there's a reason they continually sit here.
This is not against the law.
That's down in Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some places. I was down in Tampa, and there was a little crowd of those guys, and they do get a little belligerent and forward. Quite often, they get a little belligerent and forward, asking for money stuff.
Yeah, I say, do you take credit card?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. What really surprised me was what was it? One of the guys that you used, the urban outdoorsman there. I had to go by this one little park, I guess, on my way over to where I was going, and they're sitting in there. They got all brand new tents. They're riding around on these brand new bicycles, etc. That people donate to them, etc. So they can, get from point A to point B in a much more efficient manner and, shelter themselves when they get there. And it's just, the guy had a point. If you quit giving them that stuff, offer them a job. And it's like you say, you can guarantee they're not going to take that job.
Well, you're a beer man, aren't you?
Oh, I've had a few, yeah.
The makers of Busch Beer are hosting a free party this Saturday at a top-secret location somewhere in the middle of a national park. They're posting clues on Twitter, and if you make it there, you get free beer.
Who's this, Budweiser?
Plus a chance to win free beer for life. Here's a video on it.
Here at Busch, we thought it was about time we open up a pop-up shop the Busch way. So for one day and one day only, we're opening the most exclusive pop-up ever. We're popping up where Busch tastes best, in the great outdoors, in the middle of the forest, miles from the closest city. We even have a live stream. Everyone who attends has a chance to win Busch beer for life. Join me, the Busch Guy, at the Busch Pop-Up Shop this Saturday, July 20th. Follow Busch Beer on Twitter.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's what you serve at a party to people you don't like.
Well, from a good news file, somebody shared clips of families reuniting with their dogs. One guy had been in the hospital for a long time, and his dog barked at him before realizing who he was. A kid who lost his dog for months started crying when they were reunited, and one man searched for 3 years before finding his dog in the park.
Come here, Will. Come here, buddy.
Say, where you been, Daddy? Where you been? Chuck!
Sonra sen ha, Georgie. Yine televizyon, ne kadar video.
Theater of the mind. All right, let's 7:54. Let's find out the things we need to know today so we don't sound stupid. According to Earthquake Track, we averaged 193 earthquakes of magnitude 1.5 or greater per day so far in 2019. That is very high, but it pales in comparison to what we have witnessed over the last week. Within the last 7 days, our planet has experienced an average of more than 677 earthquakes of a magnitude of 1.5 or greater per day. That means that the number of global earthquakes right now is more than 3 times above normal. Supergirl is losing her short skirt. Rats. In season 5, in favor of a costume that looks more like Superman, Melissa Bennett says that it's more adult. Men want a shorter skirt. Blaze Pizza is now offering a keto crust with 6 grams of net carbs. Substituting flour with high-fat, low-carb ingredients like flaxseed, cheese, and eggs. That makes them the first national chain to include a keto crust.
Ooh, there you go.
Now you're talking. The British Open returns to Northern Ireland this week for the first time since 1951. They tee off tomorrow. Phil Mickelson says that he went on a 6-day fast to lose weight before the British Open. He came in at 15 pounds lighter.
15 pounds?
Yeah. And the first meal he eats will put him back on. A couple in Georgia married 71 years died the other day with 12 hours of within 12 hours of each other. They had 6 children, 16 grandchildren, 25 great-grandchildren, and 3 great-great-grandchildren. And they're saying that Bed Bath & Beyond is getting closer to Beyond by the day, whatever that means. And Game of Thrones has a record 32 Emmy nominations for the 71st Annual Awards coming up in September. Oh, boy, can't wait to not watch that.
For the last season, which was awful.
Yeah, pat me on the back. Pat, 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 pat. I'm so wonderful because I got up on a screen and read words written for me. So pat, 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 pat me on the back. And I get to charge ridiculous fees because I have continuity.
Yes.
You know, you started out paying me $50,000 an episode. Now I want $500,000.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
From a Did You Know category, Reader's Digest. According to Reader's Digest, road rage happens most often on Friday afternoons at 5:10 p.m.
That late? I would have thought it started about 2.
It starts every time I get in the car.
Well.
The human body contains enough carbon to make more than 1,200 number 2 pencils.
Okay.
And when you wonder where all the carbon's coming from.
Hmm.
Dead bodies. A nurse and a teacher are the 2 professionals. A nurse and a teacher are the 2 professions are tied as most stressful than any other.
Nurses and teachers.
Yeah. According to a sleep study, if you have trouble sleeping, experts say you should try wearing sunglasses 2 hours before bedtime. 10% of women carry chocolate in their purse. According to a recent study, using a slow internet connection at home will increase their heart rate and stress level. And today's impossible question: July, August, and September are the top months for
heat.
Birthdays.
July, August, and September.
Here comes your news, 8 o'clock.
Later on this afternoon, it's more heat, more humidity, and a chance for more storms. Highs in the mid to upper 90s, the heat index ranging from 104 to 108. If you're working outside, do not push yourself too hard. Any of the storms we see could linger into the evening as well. The low tonight in the low to mid 70s, and then tomorrow, scattered showers and thunderstorms, perhaps a little bit more likely. The remnant energy with Barry comes on by, the high in the low to mid 90s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sand Hills, 97.3 FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump is applauding House Republicans for a show of unity in the vote condemning the president's controversial comments about 4 liberal Democrat congresswomen.
Out of 191 House Republicans, only 4 voted with Democrats in passing a resolution rebuking the president's tweet that 4 freshman congresswomen should go back to their home countries. Mr. Trump tweets, "It was so great to see how unified the Republican Party was on the vote." And he points to what he calls the horrible things the 4 lawmakers have said about our country, Israel, and much more. Greg Clugston, Washington.
And Capitol Hill correspondent Molly Hines says it was a chaotic scene on the House floor as lawmakers debated that resolution.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi causing quite a stir and bringing debate to a halt with comments.
Every single member of this institution, Democratic and Republican, should join us in condemning the president's racist tweets.
After a long delay, Majority Leader Steny Hoyer announcing
characterizing an action as racist is not in order.
Democrats voting to overrule the parliamentarian and leave the words intact.
A House vote expected later today on the question of holding Attorney General Barr and Commerce Secretary Ross in contempt. They did not comply with congressional subpoenas about their attempt to put a citizenship question back in the census in 2020. From east to west, a punishing heat wave holding many parts of the country in its grip. Andrew Orison at the National Weather Service.
If you do have to be outside, just try to limit your exposure and drink plenty of fluids, preferably water, and try to stay cool, or at least be in a shaded area if possible.
Life in prison without parole. The sentence awaiting notorious Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, the 62-year-old, to be sentenced today in New York. Wall Street, Dow futures are up 3 points. S&P futures a fraction higher. NASDAQ futures better by 6 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
When it comes to your pain, many of you might be skeptical, like I was, about ordering Relief Factor. Pat Boone again for this wonderful 100% drug-free supplement designed to help your own body lower or eliminate occasional aches and pains due to aging, exercise, everyday living. I'm not skeptical any longer. The 3-week quick start is now discounted to only $19.95. Why don't you let us see if we can get you out of pain, too, at ReliefFactor.com.
You do it right to get an outdoor space that makes you proud and offers a stylish place to relax. Lowe's is here to help and help you save on everything you need to get started. Add an attractive new retaining wall to your landscape and save with mini flagstone retaining wall blocks, now 10 for $10. And update your patio furniture and save up to 25% on select patio clearance items. For great buys to make your outdoors even greater, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 7/17 while supplies last. Wall block offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii, U.S. only.
The head of the World Health Organization is convening a meeting of experts to decide whether the Ebola outbreak should be declared an international emergency after spreading to eastern Congo's biggest city earlier this week.
In 3 previous meetings, the WHO has decided DRC's Ebola outbreak is not an international emergency, but the outbreak has already claimed more than 1,600 lives. The disease is spreading in conflict areas. Health workers have been killed. Announcing an international health emergency is viewed as a last resort, but the pressure is now on the WHO to do so.
That's BBC's Imogene Folks. In an apparent about-face, Iran says remarks by the country's foreign minister about Iran's missile program possibly being up for negotiations with the U.S. were not meant to indicate a readiness by Tehran for any such discussions. News and analysis at townhall.com. A retired Supreme Court justice, among the longest-serving members of the High Court, who became more liberal over the years, has died.
Justice John Paul Stevens was known for his stance in defense of freedom and dignity for everyone, be they students or immigrants or prisoners. He acted to limit the death penalty, establish gay rights, promote racial equality, and preserve legal abortion. Almost always wearing a bow tie, Stevens was only the second jurist to mark his 90th birthday on the High Court. In 2005, he told Fordham Law School students his thinking had evolved over the years.
Learning on the bench has been one of the most important and rewarding aspects of my own experience over the last 35 years.
Justice Stevens retired in June of 2010. He died in Fort Lauderdale after suffering a stroke Monday at the age of 99. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
Aberdeen Prescription Shop is one of the best independent pharmacies. Despite the chain stores, customers prefer Aberdeen Prescription Shop for its personal service, drive-through window, and free delivery. All major insurance is accepted, including TRICARE. Order your prescriptions online at AberdeenRxShop.com or call 944-1313, 944-1313, or visit the Town and Country Shopping Center on US 1. Aberdeen Prescription Shop.
Just what the doctor ordered.
At Keys Appliance in Aberdeen, a modern, streamlined kitchen that makes your life easier is more affordable than ever. Because right now, you'll save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliances via online or mail-in rebate. Not only do GE Profile appliances look stunning, but with time-saving features like hands-free autofill, they're designed to make kitchen work much easier. So talk to the kitchen experts at Keys Appliance in Aberdeen and see how GE Profile appliances save you work and save you money. But hurry, this rebate offer ends soon.
Neck, shoulder, or back pain can be downright debilitating. If you have those issues, you already know that, and you don't need me to tell you about the opioid crisis. There's another, better way. I'm talking about chiropractic, a healing art that's also science. Dr. Sharon Wright of Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes invites you to come in for a discussion about how chiropractic works and could work for you. To be sure, there are many of you out there that have reached the proverbial dead end trying to treat and manage your pain.
This is Dr. Wright. I can't guarantee I can fix every problem, but I will tell you honestly whether chiropractic can be of help for your particular issue. Living with pain is not always the only option. Doesn't it make sense to explore every avenue before resigning yourself to the limitations of pain? Call our office today to schedule a consultation and start living again. 673-2225.
Good health maintenance is about more than just good medicine. That's why Health Innovation Pharmacy is offering the Ideal Protein Weight Loss Clinic program. The CDC identifies obesity as public enemy number one. Now, we could also list the issues like diabetes, heart disease, stroke, vision issues, and many others. But you know them already. What this program offers is the knowledge to help you win the weight loss fight without losing muscle mass. Stop by Health Innovation and let them discuss how the two-step Ideal Protein Weight Loss program will help you lose weight, but also maintain that weight loss. Book your journey into good health today. Also, it's flu season, so don't forget your flu and shingles shot. Health Innovation Pharmacy on Pinehurst Avenue in Southern Pines, locally owned and serving Moore County since 2001.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. North Carolina is set to re-enter in the national spotlight this week with high-profile visits from both President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence. Mr. Trump, who carried the Tar Heel State in 2016, will headline a Keep America Great rally on the campus of East Carolina University in Greenville today. The Vice President will join him. Mark Lauder, Trump 2020 Director of Strategic Communications, told ABC 11.
There will be a national audience, but I can tell you the president's going to be talking about issues that matter to people in North Carolina.
The House of Representatives voted to condemn President Trump's racist comments, as they call them. The resolution passed by a vote of 240 to 187. 4 Republicans voted with Democrats. Larry Sabato is a political analyst and says this kind of condemnation is very rare for any president.
It's still the kind of thing the House of Representatives doesn't do every day or every year or in every presidency. So nothing to be proud of, will be noted in the history books.
The North Carolina Democrat in a U.S. House special election plans to propose broadly increasing national service programs to better tie the country together. Dan McCready makes his pitch today in suburban Charlotte alongside U.S. Army 4-star General Stanley McChrystal. The Supreme Court confirms that former Justice John Paul Stevens is dead. Justice Stevens served from 1975 to 2010. CBS News correspondent Jan Crawford has more.
His impact on the law is broad. He provided a critical 5th vote to affirm abortion rights, uphold affirmative action, ban the death penalty for juveniles, and limit presidential war powers.
One person is dead. Another was rushed to a hospital after a violent overnight crash in West Charlotte. Investigators with the Winston-Salem Police Department say a man's body was found last night in the woods. The body was discovered about 7 o'clock. You're listening to NCN News.
How do you spell barbecue? Well, folks around here spell it SCNB. That's Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue. You know, that tender, slow-cooked for 14 hours every day barbecue. The clean, no additive, just pepper, salt, and apple cider vinegar barbecue. A low-calorie, high-protein, great-tasting barbecue that can only be found at Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue.
Break away from the everyday to Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue.
There are millions of unused and leftover opioid pills in North Carolina alone, enough to stretch from the mountains to the coast. These powerful prescription pills are contributing to an epidemic that takes 5 lives every day. But there is something more powerful than opioids. All of us. We can take back our extra pills and ask our healthcare providers about alternatives for pain. Together, we can take back our communities. Learn how you can help end the epidemic at morepowerfulnc.org.
Federal prosecutors say a grand jury has indicted a former North Carolina County Commissioner after she allegedly used taxpayer money to sponsor equestrian activities. The U.S. Department of Justice says in a news release that 64-year-old Elaine Maddens Frost of Asheville is charged with conspiracy to commit federal program fraud and mail fraud. A new report shows that a major rat infestation problem in Los Angeles is occurring. A group of pest control professionals sounded the alarm about getting the issue resolved before it gets out of control.
This report should be a shame on local government officials who've known about this crisis for the past several months, but have tried to sweep it under the rug, along with the rat droppings.
And Carl DeMaio, chairman of the Reform California, was just getting started. As he said, California, not just Los Angeles, is being overrun by rats.
Every 5 to 10 feet, you will see black boxes with numbers on them. You know what those boxes are? They're rat traps.
And there they were, hidden in the shrubs, just outside City Hall.
That's reporter Dan Lopez. The North Carolina Maritime Museum in Southport hosts a hurricane lecture series ahead of opening their new hurricane exhibit, Deadly Dozen. 3 lecture series last through this hurricane season. Feel like $1 million? It's not cracked up to what it used to be.
A new survey from Ameriprise Financial finds only 13% of Americans with $1 million or more in assets actually feel wealthy. A company VP tells USA Today it's mostly because people are afraid of running out of money when they retire and having to rely on savings instead of Social Security and work pensions. There's also that looming tax bill on 401ks and IRAs. 7 out of 10 who say they do feel wealthy with $1 million in the bank chalk it up to detailed financial planning. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
We're starting off warm and dry this morning. Later this afternoon, hot, humid, and perhaps some afternoon storms. The highs in the mid to upper 90s. Now, we have a heat advisory in effect roughly from the Raleigh area south to Fayetteville and points east. The heat index value ranging from 104 to 108. Some of the storms we see later today could be strong. Early evening storms, then dry overnight with a low in the low to mid 70s. And then with some energy left over from Barry on Thursday, low to mid 90s with some afternoon storms. I'm Mike Mays in the Weather Center.
Right now here in the Sand Hills area, it's plenty hot, plenty humid. Sunny, 80 degrees, humidity 84%, dew point way up there at 75. Pressure is 3008, winds calm, gusting to 3, visibility is at 10 statute miles. Good morning. It is 8:13. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Wednesday hump day already. Topping the news this morning, the Moore County Board of Elections will hold 2 educational seminars about new voter photo identification requirements. The seminars are free and open to the public. The seminars are scheduled to be held Wednesday, August 7th, 6 p.m. at Pinecrest High School Auditorium, and Wednesday the 14th at 6 p.m. at the Moore County Agricultural Center. Beginning in 2020, voters will be required to provide photo identification before they vote. State Department of Transportation has awarded Moore County another grant for the airport facility here and for improvements. The $438,000 grant will pay for the initial steps in the process of replacing all the airport lights with new high-performance, energy-efficient LED lighting. The airport will contribute 10% of the grant cost. And 2 people were taken to the hospital after being involved in a car accident Monday. The accident occurred at the intersection of Fort Bragg Road and Elk Road. Around 1:30 in the afternoon, a Jeep Cherokee and a Dodge Challenger collided at the intersection, sending the Jeep off the road and down an embankment. Neither driver suffered life-threatening injuries. Fort Bragg Road was shut down while emergency crews worked. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning, but stand by. Here comes your latest in sports right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. It is 8:15.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. A big 8th-inning rally allowed the Yankees to increase their lead in the AL East. The Yanks trailed 3-2 before homering twice and erupting for 6 runs in their final at-bat to whip the second-place Rays 8-3. Aaron Judge put New York ahead with a 2-run blast before Didi Gregorius followed with a grand slam. The outcome put New York 6 games ahead of Tampa Bay. Andrew Cashner was roughed up in his Red Sox debut. Toronto coasting to a 10-4 win at Fenway. Cashner chased in the 6th after giving up 6 runs on 8 hits.
Didn't really command the off-speed very well. Didn't really do a lot of things well, but I felt like it kept us in the game. It wasn't very good, especially after we scored those runs and tie the game back up and give up a leadoff homer. I'd say that's probably the toughest blow of the game.
The Red Sox 10 games off the lead in the AL East. Elsewhere in the majors, the Angels 5-0 since the All-Star break. Albert Pujols hit a bases-clearing double during a 6-run first that sparked a 7-2 win over the Astros. The Athletics won their 5th in a row as All-Star Matt Chapman homered and had 5 RBIs in a 9-2 thrashing of the Mariners. The Mets picked up their 3rd straight by getting 5 scoreless innings out of their beleaguered bullpen in the 3-2 win at Minnesota. The Indians dumped the Tigers 8-0. The Atlantic Coast Conference opens its preseason media days today in Charlotte. The focus on the reigning national champion Clemson Tigers, who have won 2 national championships in their last 3 seasons and 4 straight league titles, while going 34-2 against ACC opponents dating to the 2015 season. The Atlantic Division will also be focused on, but Clemson, obviously the hot target. Coastal Division teams will be the focus on Thursday at Media Days. The British Open begins tomorrow. Tiger Woods struggled since winning the Masters with no top finishes in the 10 events since winning his 15th career major. Woods says he doesn't think his game is dialed in as it should be as play begins this week in the 4th and final major of the year. This is NCN Sports.
You're no stranger to hard work. If you were, you wouldn't be here. But is here really where you want to be? Whether you're done just making ends meet, ready to start a new career, or want to go farther in the one you have, North Carolina community colleges are ready for you. They have the courses, real-world learning opportunities, and partnerships with local businesses to get you the education you need and the career you want. Stop settling. Choose a higher education focused on getting you hired. North Carolina Community Colleges, your higher education.
Medicaid expansion, school safety, a statewide bond package, the next state budget. North Carolina lawmakers are tackling these and other topics. You can follow all the action with Carolina Journal. How would these proposals affect you, your wallet, your family? Carolina Journal offers answers. Available each month as a free newspaper. Every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your best source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
Carolina Panthers owner David Tepper has been working on bringing Major League Soccer to Charlotte since he bought the Panthers last summer. Earlier this week, Tepper and the Panthers president Tom Glick were in New York to make a pitch to Major League Soccer officials that Charlotte deserves an expansion franchise. Last week, Glick said they're confident the Charlotte region would support a soccer team.
Soccer is not only here, it has been here, and we're just trying to unleash it more and more. We have a great case, a very strong case, to have a high-performing Major League Soccer club here.
Glick expressed his confidence last week when he announced Bank of America Stadium reached a 5-year deal to host summer soccer matches in the International Champions Tournament. Charlotte is among several cities, including St. Louis, Sacramento, and Las Vegas, that are competing for 3 likely Major League Soccer expansion franchises. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
It wasn't long ago when residents in the Sandhills had to call 2 different companies for plumbing or heating and air conditioning service. But Fields Plumbing and Heating and Air Conditioning was the first to offer all 3 services and still do. At Fields Plumbing and Heating and Air Conditioning, it's our goal to offer customers fast, dependable, and creative solutions to your home and business needs. Experience counts. Call Fields Plumbing and Heating and Air Conditioning 910-949-3232. 910-949-3232.
Donuts so heavenly you'd think they were made by angels. Southern Angel Donut Company is now open for your heavenly pleasure in Olmsted Village behind the First National Bank. And the angels are up daily at 3 a.m. making donuts the old-fashioned way, preparing holy taste bud delights like the maple bacon donut or their special apple fritters. And hey, Southern Angel Donuts make great business icebreakers because who doesn't like a great donut? Give Southern Angel Donuts a try today. Open 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily.
Opioid addiction is a crisis in Moore and surrounding counties, but there is a local doctor, Francis Corrigan of Solace Health, helping patients in recovery.
At Solace Health, we have had a great deal of success with opioid addiction treatment using medications such as Suboxone on an outpatient basis. Treatment is low cost as we accept all insurance, including North Carolina Medicaid. The treatment occurs in a very pleasant and private outpatient office setting where patients are treated with compassion and dignity. If you or your loved one needs help with opioid addiction or other drug or alcohol problems, please call us to speak to one of our nurses about our treatment program. We also have extensive experience in transitioning patients from methadone programs to Suboxone outpatient treatment.
Solace Health is located at 285 Olmsted Boulevard in Pinehurst. Call 910-295-7246. All calls are confidential. 910-295-7246 or visit recovermore.com. MOORE.
Aaron Cooper of Cooper Ford in Carthage wants you to know that you can't buy a new Ford car, truck, or SUV for less anywhere else, guaranteed. If you're in the market for a new Ford, what are you waiting for? Cooper Ford is the only locally and family-owned Ford dealership in Moore County. So if you're tired of the cold corporate climate of other dealerships, trade up for a family-friendly hometown dealer. Right now, get 0% APR financing for up to 72 months on the all-new 2019 Ford F-150 or the 2019 Ford Mustang. With no games, no gimmicks, just upfront, honest pricing and certified service after the sale.
I'm Aaron Cooper, and I want to know you by name. Come in today and let Cooper Ford show you how car buying should be.
Come to Cooper Country today, just a few short minutes from the traffic circle off 15501 in Carthage, or on the web at cooperford.net. Cooper Ford, working hard to be your hometown dealer.
What's for dinner? Upscale or casual? How about both? Char Bar 7 on Morganton Road is a nice mix of both upscale and casual. Perfect for a business lunch or dinner or a date that's unique but not budget busting. Char Bar 7 offers that just right option. Featuring live music on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 10 p.m. on the best covered patio lounge in the Sandhills, bar none. Make Char Bar 7 your go-to oasis for great food, drink, and atmosphere on Morganton Road in Southern Pines.
Most people dread going to the dentist, but not at Sandhills Weekend Dental. Here's Michael from Whispering Pines.
I met Dr. Terry and Sam's about 9 months ago when I had an emergency. Prior to that, which makes this amazing, is I haven't been to the dentist in 12 years. I had some really bad experiences when I was growing up as a young boy, but when I went in there, I clearly was nervous. I had a lot of fear, but Dr. Sam's and her staff put me at ease, took me in, reviewed what we thought we had going on there, and just talked to me in a way that I felt like she really wasn't going to hurt me. which was a big fear that I had for the last 12 years. And I'm really happy to tell everyone I can brush and floss, and I can eat, kiss, and smile better.
Sandhills Weekend Dental on Highway 211 just past Harris Teeter. Open Wednesday through Friday 9 to 4 and Saturday 9 to 2. Call for an appointment at 910-687-4423. 687-4423.
Hey Sandhills, it's Anthony from Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop. We've been getting a lot of requests for information, and I'm proud to announce that we've launched our new website where you can find details about all the services we offer, how to get in touch with us, hours, and where we're located. Visit us at www.championnc.com. That's www.championnc.com. While you're there, take a look at the photo gallery of incredible cars that we're trusted to care for on a daily basis. That's Champion Car Wash and Detail Shop in downtown Southern Pines near the corner of Morganton and Broad.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. This is a real feel-good story. There'd been an alligator swimming in Chicago in the popular Humboldt Park Lagoon for about 2 weeks. Sunday, the animal control people fenced off the area around the boathouse after initial rescue efforts were unsuccessful, fearing for the gator's health. After many tries, a guy named Mr. Rob, a fellow who was brought in from Florida, was able to capture the animal in what was described as a safe and humane way. The healthy male alligator is about 5 feet long and weighs about 50 pounds, Rob said during a news conference. Don't you think that's a wonderful story about human kindness in Chicago? No wonder they called a press conference. In other Chicago news, there were 39 people shot just this past weekend. The average for Chicago is one person shot every 3 hours and 20 minutes. The mayor was quoted as saying, "We would like to pass some new gun laws, but we can't think of any that we have not already passed." Then she said, "But let's talk about that alligator. Didn't we do good?" All right, and I hope you realize she didn't really say that, but I bet she thought it. Mayor, you've had 1,414 people shot this year. You did good. You did real good with that alligator. I bet if you could have gotten that thing to join a gang, somebody would have shot it in the first 10 minutes. I like alligators okay, Mayor, but unlike you, I value human life a whole lot more. In the Zumwalt Zone.
Later on this afternoon, it's more heat, more humidity, and a chance for more storms. Highs in the mid to upper 90s, the heat index ranging from 104 to 108. If you're working outside, do not push yourself too hard. Any of the storms we see could linger into the evening as well. The low tonight in the low to mid 70s, and then tomorrow, scattered showers and thunderstorms, perhaps a little bit more likely. The remnant energy with Barry comes on by, the high in the low to mid 90s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the Leader Man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Good morning, everybody.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
Guys are weird. You guys are weird.
You've surrounded yourself with a bunch of weirdos.
Guys are weird.
I'm not weird.
I'm not weird.
Is it Wednesday?
Yes. Then yes, you are indeed a
weirdo.
Everybody's a weirdo. I'm a weirdo. You're a weirdo.
Ready for the big show?
Yes.
Be prepared.
Be prepared for it to get weird.
All right, showtime.
Good morning. Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with the Colonel, retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel. Wait a minute, I got to remember you on a different monitor.
Yeah, morning, Moore County. Remember, you know what day it is. Walk down to the end of your driveway and pick up that prepackaged trash. Bring it back in the house and drop it in the bin.
There you go. Colonel's in the mood. He just got back from a little vacation there. Don't forget, of course, we are being heard and seen around the world on a live video stream. That's available to you right now at talk973.com. Upper, let's say, top middle of the page of the homepage has the link. If you're on your mobile device, your YouTube app does the work. Put Mornings with the Leader Man in the search. If you're on your mobile device, just needing our crystal clear digital audio stream, where we suggest many streaming services like TuneIn, iTunes, Streamer, just to name a few. Put WEEB into that search. And as always, that stream's available on our website at talk973.com. Upper right-hand corner of every page that says, it has an icon that says on the air, listen live. Click it once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area. Partly cloudy with scattered thunderstorms. High of 88, heat index of 104. Here's the easy part. You can copy and paste that onto today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Need I go on? But next Wednesday, right now, is showing we'll get a little break in dew point next Wednesday. But that's a long ways away and may or may not hold up. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are calm, gusting to 3. Visibility 10 statute miles. Pressure is 3008, 2.75. Humidity 84%. It's sunny and 80 muggy degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And of course, this being Wednesday and everything, it's our day that we extend the Zoom All Zone into a half an hour. We call it the Extended Zoom All Zone. Original name like that. And it must mean John Zumwalt heads it up. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Steve and Colonel and everyone. I've got a very, very special guest today that's going to make you proud that you are an American. It's going to make you understand our immigration laws. It's going to make you realize how they're supposed to work. And I can promise you that you'll be very, very glad if you stay and listen to the young man I'm going to be talking to. Can't do it, though, without saying this. The pathetic pilot came out with an editorial today, and I'm only going to read one.
Wait a minute. Let's get it right. The pathetic, racist, failing pilot.
Okay.
Those guys.
Those guys came out with an editorial today, and among what they said, and we're not going to belabor this because we've got too important of a guest to do this, but I want to read one paragraph. They say, yes, the new school site, speaking about the Aberdeen school that's on the right on the Aberdeen dump site. Yes, the new school site sits between 2 of 5 Superfund sites that have been the location of pesticide manufacturing and disposal. And the current Aberdeen elementary and primary schools are also near sites and in far less desirable locations than this new school. This is just part of Aberdeen's unfortunate history. Now, isn't that something? Isn't that a great way to put it? It's just part of their history. We just have to deal with it. All right, let me get on with something a lot more uplifting. My guest today is a guy that you probably don't know. His name is Jose Manuel Alvarez, and I wish I could do the true Hispanic type of pronunciation, but I can't. That's just not the way I learned to speak. But Jose's got a great story to tell, and I want to give him all the time in the world to tell it. First, let me say, good morning, Jose.
Good morning, John. How are you?
And you can talk in your regular voice. Just scoot up that mic and just scoot up close. Just stay up close, and we'll just carry on a little chat here. All right. I want you to tell me, Jose, briefly, because you've got a lot of other things I want you to talk about, where you're from. I want you to talk about your time in the academy, and then in your military, where you were, and then we'll get into the good part.
Yes, so, again, my name is Jose. Thank you for having me, guys. I give the praise to God to be here. And, yeah, so I was in the military academies. I was raised in military academies. One of my uncles was
military academy in
Ecuador. Yeah, I'm Ecuadorian. I'm South American. I came to the United States to live here in 2005, and I think I came legally. I came legally here to the United States, and I've been living here in the United States since 2005.
What did you do in the Ecuadorian Army? Where were you stationed?
In the Ecuadorian Army, I was stationed in Ecuador, and
that makes sense.
And yeah, we were stationed there, and they teach you basically the same things that we teach in the Army here in the United States.
Did you do any overseas deployments of any kind?
Well, yeah, one. We can get into it.
Let's get into it. Where was that?
Iraq.
Iraq. And how long were you there?
9 months.
Okay. So here's a guy who's now an American, who was in the Ecuadorian Army and knows what it's like to serve in an army in combat conditions. He grew up in a military academy. Now, you are a citizen here now.
I've been a citizen in the United States. Yeah, I came with a green card first. Yeah, and from a green card holder to an American citizen, you need to stay in the United States and paying taxes and everything for 5 years.
Okay. Now, it's not like Jose and I have known each other for years. I ran into him a few weeks ago, listened to him talk a little bit, carried on a conversation, and was extremely impressed. And when all this business came up with AOC and the squad, these ladies who are congresspersons who seem to hate America, who seem to just not be happy to be here at all, and I contrasted that with what Jose was saying. It just hit me. And Steve, the owner of the station, Steve Adams, is so good about just allowing me to bring on anyone I want to, and he never asks. He trusts me, and I appreciate that. And that's why we have a pretty eclectic group of folks on, and I appreciate that, Steve. And I think this is going to be a day that's going to be worthwhile. Jose talks with great love of this country, even to me, a guy who didn't even know him. He talks about America and how much he loves it. And Jose, just this morning, we haven't planned a doggone thing here. We chatted briefly about the lady that you ran into at the post office the other day that demanded something. Can you tell us about that? Yeah,
so I have a few stories of that.
Well, tell them.
When I first came to the United States, I live in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and it happens a lot of times, and I have heard a lot of friends, but personally, me, it happened a few times when I've run into somebody, and this lady was demanding for somebody in the postal office to speak Spanish. So I came to her and I was like, I speak Spanish, but how long you been living here in the United States? She said for 20 years, and I was like, and you don't speak English? She said she was from El Salvador, and I was like, we were just talking before about this, but if you are where I'm in Ecuador, okay, and you're demanding to speak English when the main language is Spanish, you're not going to get it. So why does it work that here? In Elizabeth, New Jersey, that it was a big Spanish community, there was that demand basically every single day. And I used to go to the post office every single day.
Well, now you help this lady anyway, right?
Of course, it's a good Christian thing to do, But again, I make sure for her to let her know that this is our main language is English here. I learned English. I knew English most of my life, but when I came to the United States, I needed to learn English so I can progress.
What's your opinion of illegal immigrants coming in?
He used that word again, Jose.
Yes.
Not immigrants, illegal.
So there is a very, very bad misconception about immigration. There's legal and illegal. Yeah. I came here legally.
That's what I was saying, illegal.
Yes. So illegal immigrants, I think, is very wrong. We need.
What do you call them?
I'm sorry?
What do you call them?
Illegal immigrants. Yeah,
okay.
But what I'm saying is, and if you allow me to make an example, if you come to my house illegally, in my sovereignty, illegally, I'm going to call the cops because you're doing something illegally.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to know, though, the legal immigrant community, people who got in line, came in legally, did their 5 years, got their citizenship, and now are as equal of an American as I am. But what do you all, as you look at see these people jumping the fence and coming in here and wanting to jump the line, or better yet, just avoid it altogether and filter into our country without going through the process that you did? What's your opinion of that?
Well, in one word, that's just like theft. It's criminal. The biggest issue of what you just said is that they're caught in the line. Yeah. It took a lot of money for my parents for me to be here talking to you guys.
What does it cost to immigrate?
So I was asking this question to my mom a couple of couple of months ago because I really wanted to know, and is in between probably 10 or 15,000. My brother and I came here legally, you know, but you have to go through a process. You got to go through the American consulate in Ecuador and have an interview with either the ambassador or a person from the United States, and they ask you a lot of questions. You need to have an affidavit here in the United States, so you're not going to be a burden to the United States. You know, what is happening with the immigrants...
Well, that's no less different than what Ecuador requires to come live there.
Correct.
They want to make sure you're not going to be a burden on the government.
Correct. And because Ecuador is on the same socialist laws as Venezuela, a lot of illegal immigrants from Venezuela are flooding Ecuador right now.
I bet. They want to eat.
Yes, exactly.
Go ahead, Tom.
Well, you talked about your time in the service in the academy. You talked earlier about with just chatting in this room for just a few minutes about what you call the social democracy in Ecuador, and you talked about your dad. Would you repeat that whole thing again, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of social democracy, I still don't understand what is the actual concept of it. You know. But basically, my father in Ecuador, he's a surgeon. He has worked all his life for what he has, and basically with the high taxes and everything, the government is basically taking everything away. And you know, we have Bernie Sanders here. That's basically what they want to do. I mean, thank God Hillary Clinton wasn't the president, because that's what it was going to happen. You know, and there's not enough money in Ecuador for the welfare like in here in the United States. But, you know, you're just taking from, it's sort of like a Robin Hood, you know, it's stealing from the people that has money in this case, and given to the poor, which is not poor, they just don't want to work. You know?
Now, speaking of working, Jose, when I first ran into you, you were working. It was a very hot day. You were working. You had sweat pouring. You were in charge of a crew. What do you do?
All right, so I'm a logistic manager for Sandhills Moving and Storage. Is a Mayflower agency here in Southern Pines. We've been in business for over 20 years here, and just a little bit shout out to the people in Sandhills. We do moving, and I like to lead by example. When I first came to the United States, I work in the moving industry too, so I've been in the moving industry for a long time, and you know, it's hard work, and that's part of the American dream for me. If you come into the United States legally and you want to progress, you got to study, you got to work, and that's that servitude, you know.
And see, a guy like you can say that. Someone like me or Steve or Jeff, we say that, and it just sounds like, well, you're spoiled rotten. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, when I saw you, you were pouring sweat, you were working hard, you had two guys working with you or for you, and I was thinking to myself, man, I would love to have that guy as a supervisor, because he's fair, but he's saying, okay, guys, grab this, grab that. But I was also thinking, thank goodness I don't have to work for that guy, even though you're very polite and kind. And ladies, if you could see this guy, he's a very handsome guy. He looks like a movie star, but he's married, and he's a. Tell us a little bit about your Christian beliefs and your Christian work that you do at your church.
Okay, so again, I'm gonna throw another shout out for Grace Church, his church in Southern Pines. I have great pastors there. Is a great leadership. And of course, with that said, I'm a Christian. First is God, you know, for me and my family. You know, we will serve the Lord, like the Bible says. And I wouldn't be where I am if it's for Jesus Christ. And of course, my worldly rock that I call is my wife.
Okay.
So
do I remember this wrong, or do you have a mission that you and your wife are involved with? Some kind
So we love to help marriages. We love to help marriages. My wife and I are very involved to help marriages that are either falling apart or marriages that need help. And I do believe that that's part of our something that we're missing in our society right now. So that's what we like to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed the other day when you were talking to the two gentlemen who were helping you or working for you, we could overhear your conversation in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And you would, and I can begin to quote you, or may not even be on the right subject, but I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
You would say something like, look, you guys, don't you believe that we want more money to come into the economy? Don't you believe that whatever? And they would say yes. And then you would say, well, see, then you should like Trump. That's what he's doing. And they would say, oh, really? Is that what he's doing? Well, maybe we do like Trump. Yeah. And so it's all about getting the message out, isn't it?
Well,
looking at facts.
So you were listening, right,
yeah,
John?
Yeah, because we thought we heard you.
So I like to start conversations with questions, you know, because and then we can debate that, but we have to debate with facts.
Yeah.
So I ask my guys different questions, and I bring them. The problem is that either you don't know what's happening, or you're watching CNN.
You know? Or reading a pathetic pilot. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I like to tell the guys what is going on with the economy. Is not the problem with our country is that they're looking at a person, not what he's doing behind it. You know, I believe that President Trump is doing an amazing job on our economy. I think that the trading is going very well. Actually, a week and a half ago, we almost had the biggest market in the history of the United States. It was just for a couple of points off. I believe that you know, there's the conservatives or the Republican Party is trying to do the best for the people, you know. And another thing that I think I brought to your attention when we talked a couple of weeks ago was that before the Democrats and Republicans were like day and night. One say they, the other says night. Now the conservative says it's they, and the Democrat says you're a racist.
Yeah. Oh, good point. Yeah. Well, we know that the squad has been accused by or rather have accused President Trump of being racist, and a lot of people agree with that. I don't. They say that President Trump said to them, same thing I'd say to you, or to Steve, or to Jeff, or to myself. If you hate this country, maybe you ought to think about leaving it. If I hated this country as much as they profess to, I probably would leave it. But I love the nation. And you and I talked about this as well. There are a lot of things that we could fix in our nation, a lot of things we could fix in Moore County, but we still love it. We stay here and we work and try to get rid of the dead weight that we have, and we do have some, and make it a better place. And that's obviously the way you feel about this great nation, or am I misreading you?
That's absolutely right, John. So I had the displeasure to turn on the TV and put it on CNN probably 2 days ago, and it was I believe the host was Don Lemons, I believe is his name, and he was talking about what was going on with AOC and her squad, that he turned it completely into a racial profiling when President Trump said, if you don't like this country, leave. Okay, it's the same thing. If you don't like the rules in my house, you can just walk out. You know, this is the rules. We're a nation of rules. Okay, if you don't like it, you got to go. You know, there was a case, I don't know if you guys can't remember the name of a couple of actors, but one in a special that they went to Europe after Trump was elected. They were paying high taxes, and now they're back in our country. Okay, yeah. Because they didn't like that country. They left that country and came back. You know, so it's the same in here. If you don't like what is happening here, you got to go.
Well, remember the story you were talking about, AOC and the flag upside down. Talk about that for a minute, how that contrasts with the way you feel.
So I read on the Blaze about they were asking AOC some questions about, hey, what do you believe? What is happening with this guy? You know, going in this detention center, throwing the flag upside down, and everything that happened. She had no comments, and it's like, do you think that's a terrorist attack? Do you think that's a bad thing? She had absolutely no comments. If I'm a congressman, a congresswoman, that I love this country, I have a problem with that. I have a problem with.
What would your comment be?
My comment will be absolutely, he should be in jail for life.
Yeah,
you know, it's just as simple as that. I'm in selective services. When you become a citizen of the United States, you automatically give oath. You take away the country that you came from, and you give an oath that this is your first country. This is your country, and you're a naturalized citizen. So, for that, I am a selective service member. So if there's a war, an active war or something, I'm going to defend this country, because what I'm leaving behind is a good moral standard in my home. I want to defend this country for my family, for my friends, for all of us here. And that's what our military does. They are defending our country for AOC and for the Conservative Party, you know?
Jose, I don't know how we lost that. I don't know how every household in America does not feel exactly that way, the way we used to feel. Now, Moore County is very conservative, and a lot of military here, and retired military and military families. I want to go back to your dad for just a second. He was a surgeon, you said?
No, my uncle was a colonel in the Ecuadorian army.
No, your dad. Your dad was not a doctor?
My dad is a doctor. He's a sergeant. Yeah.
Surgeon.
Doctor. Oh, surgeon. Yes, sir. Sorry.
That's my Texas accent. They haven't, I don't know in your...
That's my Spanish years.
Well, they don't really teach that in English school. So, but your dad was a doctor, and obviously he worked very hard to become a doctor, just like they do here. And you mentioned Bernie Sanders, and if Bernie had his way, we'd just go to the doctor. It would cost us nothing. Literally, it'd be free. And not sure who would pay people like your dad. Well, see, I can talk about that, but you've lived it, and so has your dad. And you've seen what happens to people like your dad under this system of government. Why can't we understand? Any idea why we're not getting that message in America? That's a kind of a big one to lay on you.
It is. So it's because we're losing values. I believe in my heart that everything starts at home. Okay, we're losing the values and moral standards from home. So we are getting into a society that I like everything for free. It doesn't matter who pays it. You know, it's just that the same thing with Bernie. You know, I will pay the minimum wage is going to be $15 across the board, but I'm going to tax you 50%. The people is just looking at the $15. They're not looking at the tax, you know. So, and then with welfare, you know, then with different things that the people is getting used to get for free, you know, we're brainwashing the new culture like that, and that's why we're not learning. I mean, we can turn on the TV and we see people dying in Venezuela. I think the ratio right now is of a person is losing like 10 pounds a year because of the lack of food that it is going on out there.
Maybe I should move there for a couple of years.
And then I saw it a couple of months ago, and you probably guys know about this. People, there's no food, so they went to a zoo and start killing the animals and eat them.
Yeah.
You know, so now try that on 400 million people that we are here in the States.
There's a guy who's literally has come here and has done what all of our ancestors did, came here and worked hard and came here legally and made something of yourself. What do you envision? What's your goal for your daughter? You have 2 daughters, right?
And one more in the way. My wife is due August 15th, so we're in the wait.
So what do you envision? So you have another girl on the way?
God only wants to give me girls, John.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll go with his wisdom on this. What do you...
God really hates you, doesn't he?
Hey, I have... That's why I love my Second Amendment. I can carry guns here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can have a little trouble with the First Amendment, though, when you... with all those... All right, I'm going to get in trouble. Listen, but what do you want for your daughters? And your wife, as far as that goes, and your family?
So the best legacy as parents that we can leave my daughters is a good moral standard, you know, teach them a good morale that starts with God, you know, and guys, believe it or not, every time that I talk to a Democrat, the Bible is very conservative, okay, so I want to leave them God first. I want to leave them knowing that they have to fight for the rights. They have to fight for what is fair. They got to speak up, you know, and that's the problem. There's a lot of people not speaking up. There's a lot of people not talking to each other. With me personally, they see me Hispanic. And the first thing is like, oh, he's a Democrat.
Yeah.
You know, and they get scared when they start talking to me about it because I love politics. I love American politics. It's one of the best politics we have in the world. Listen, we're not perfect, but our Bill of Rights is amazing. You know, our amendments were written very smart. You know, all the countries actually suck some of those laws for themselves. You know,
you said something just now that had I stated that, and you weren't here, I can guarantee you I would get text saying you're a bigot. If I would have said, well, he's Hispanic, so he's probably a Democrat, boom, instant emails or texts about you're such a bigot, John. But in your experience, that's what you feel.
Or white supremacist, right?
White supremacist.
So just a little bit of recap.
Or a new term that's been thrown on us, cockroach.
Cockroach. Yeah.
So just a little bit of how I start a conversation with a black person or a Haitian person or another Hispanic. There's not a drop of racism in me. My great-grandfather was black, okay? My wife is white. My nephews are half Asian. So I can, unfortunately, this is just like my wife said, I can't say the same thing you're saying.
Oh, that's true.
You know, because she's white, and is unfortunate that she can, because the person next door or anybody else can speak up a First Amendment right, but my wife can't. You know, because she's going to be called, like you said, a bigot, a white supremacist.
And even if she's not, she'll have said to her what we have said to us, and that's this, that, okay, that sounds good, but you don't understand because you haven't lived our life. That's what makes you the perfect spokesman, Jose, and a valuable person to speak what you believe. Not what I want you to say, but what you believe. And I admire you because of your hard work and what you've done and what you've accomplished in this great nation, and the fact that you're not ashamed of it, nor are you ashamed of God. And you put your family and God and our nation first before everything else.
Absolutely.
If you could change a couple of things about this nation, of course we all would, anything come to mind?
Yeah, definitely. I think is the there's this big group. It's called Turning Point USA with Charlie Kirk. We need to have debates. You know, open debates. Like I say white, you say black. Okay, let's get together and let's talk. You know, that's what we are losing, and we're losing it, like I said, by the millions. You know, because now I can't say black because you're gonna tell me that I'm a bigot. You're gonna tell me that I'm wrong, and that's it. It's only your way or the highway.
All right, Jose, we've got about a minute left. Do me a favor. Take that whatever time you want, and tell everyone listening, and tell me too, why we should be very blessed, feel blessed that we were born in this nation. And we're blessed. We didn't do one thing to deserve this. Tell us why we should feel so fortunate.
Well, we live in a nation of laws. We live in a nation that is amazing. We live in a nation, in my case, that I'm fulfilling, and God is helping me fulfilling an American dream that still exists. We can give a future to our kids still. You know, we don't have to be scared about, there's no money, there's no work. We're living in a nation that is just simply amazing. I love the United States. I love every single part of the United States, and I will defend either on through the radio station, on the field, on debates, this beautiful nation, and I really love the United States, and I'm very blessed and thankful to be here today to speak up, and I would love to come back again anytime you guys need me to.
Well, Jose, it's been a pleasure. John, last word?
No, except to say that Jose works for Mayflower. We don't give out free plugs, I reckon, but I've never seen a harder working man, and so thank you, Jose, for coming in. I consider it an honor to have spoken with you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, John.
All right, so it goes for this Wednesday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9, for a thumping Thursday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on our airways, because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs for all of us. And don't forget, millions of Americans have fought, and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. So live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams and Leader Man, and Nick and Coach the Dog will see you at 2 at the Hot Steamy Dog Park.